The one who sees the storm coming before the clouds appear is the one who deserves your listening ear. So, welcome to the House of Donald, and thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time today, for I know time is of the essence. And since some of y'all allow Donald Trump and Bill Gates to play good cop, bad cop, here I am to make sure you do not allow politicians to interfere with this great awakening, because voting is the illusion that we can repair a car by changing the driver. You see how dumb that sounds? And I don't care for trends nor popular opinions within the mainstream media, because I still haven't seen Bill Gates in a mask. So I think about stuff like that. But I do not hate the media. If anything, I'm on the verge of becoming the media, even if that means respectfully debating people's online about the news that matter, because as Martin Luther King Jr. once said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. So I think and ask the question some of you are afraid to ask while exposing the truth some of you may not be ready to accept. Therefore, I'm dangerous, but nonetheless a force to be reckoned with. Since I know deprogramming starts with critical thinking and analyzing what you are watching, never blindly believing what you are told. So please understand, the elite showed us through their books and movies exactly what they plan to do before they actually do it. And if you're smart enough to recognize their mind control methods for what it is, then that is your problem from their point of view, which is a form of ritual mocking of the victim. So just like germs, Freemasons work at a visible site to take over a governing body, and while many people are very much aware that they exist, most ignore their presence until it's too late. And it will be too late, since you are already being condoned to view your freedom as selfishness. Like the idea that healthy non-sick peoples need to wear a mask to protect other peoples from an illness that they do not have has to be the most ridiculous thing ever. But until further notice, we're all sick until proven healthy for a virus with a very high survival rate. So think about that for a few. Because if you really believe a bunch of pedophile, ass-wiping war criminals are really trying to save you from a sore throat and runny nose, then you are the fucking problem. Like, if you was a billionaire, what would be your priority? Vaccine millions of children or provide them with clean drinking water? Do you see the issue here? If not, think about it this way. What if you knew what was in store for your children? Will you stand up and fight with all your heart, all your might, and all your soul? Think about it. Because I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think. After all, the eyes are useless if the mind is blind, which is why I'm trying to free your mind, but I can only show you the door. You're the one who has to walk through it. But if you knew better, let's say you know better, then know the truth by the way it feels. Because everyone is connected to the same source, therefore, there is no information that one person is tapping into that you can't. But if you worship wood and stone, then this information is going to fly over your head. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against witchcraft, spells, and the rulers of darkness of this world. Because as far as I know, this could be exactly what they want me to think. So I'm learning more and more to become an observer of my thoughts. Because if you were brainwashed, would you really have any idea? I wouldn't. Therefore, I accepted that uncomfortable feeling that everything I was ever told throughout my life about this world might have been a lie. Like our money is fake, our debt is fake, this two-party political system is fake. Most of the stuff we've been told is fake. And once you realize this, what you once thought of as a reality begins to look like a cheap set on some ridiculous B-rated movie. So, from the ocean to the sky, sometimes I wonder, was I in hell the whole time, or are we in hell better yet? After all, I always looked at life on earth as some type of purgatory. And if that is the case, then that would explain the suffering, as well as the fact that America is pretty much the devil's playground. But maybe this short human experience is a second chance at redemption to a degree, since life itself is all about the journey of the self, through the self, back to the self. And to secure this peace of mind is to prepare for war. Because in every country and where there has been a loss of freedom, where does it begin? It begins in the news, in the public print, in books, and on the radio. That's where they attack you first, right there. So open up your mind before you open up your mouth, because while some of y'all are still asleep, those who consider themselves woke are trying to make you aware of the fact that the powers that be are trying to create your reality during this great awakening experience, since they always control the narrative. But now you know this, What are you going to do about it? That's right, you, the person who's watching this video right now. What are you going to do about being lied to since birth by our government, our churches, our history books, as well as our schools? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about this government being corrupt on every level while investigating itself to tell you what really happened? Make it make sense. Because the truth is no longer hidden, but nowadays people's hide from it out of fear. And although some may think this government is necessary because people's left unchecked will do evil, y'all fail to realize that very same government is filled with people's left unchecked. And that really grinds my gear to know governments, especially the ones owned by corporations ran by a psychopath lying about imaginary economies based on debt, fueled by illegal wars, destroying our land, poisoning our food and water while decreasing our education, increasing our prisons, manipulating the media, suppressing free energy, making us struggle, starving, and killing off the rest of the world while you stay silent to pay taxes and vote, since they shaped our public opinion based out of fear, intimidation, distraction, and division. All while our children are getting kidnapped, abused, and slaughtered as if they are the enemy, as if they aren't the future. So please understand, war is when your government tells you who the enemy is. Revolution is when you figure it out for yourself. So with that said, ThisDonnie signing out.